In this video, we are going to see some of the essential Linux commands that every Linux user should be aware of. I am Ashok Raja. Welcome to the YouTube channel of InitPals. In this session, we would be covering these topics that are listed in these slides. Let me start with logging into my Linux environment. Say, if you don't have a Linux environment, check out my previous video to create a Linux environment with VirtualBox. Okay, so now that I have logged in, let's start. Let's start with clearing the content of the terminal by executing the command clear. This clears the content of the terminal. And let's start with the user related the information. Okay, so by default, the terminal displays the username and the machine name. Say this is the machine name and this is the username. Say just in case, if you wish to view the user ID of the current user in terminal, execute the command who am I. This would return the user ID of the current user. Okay. Say if you would like to view the list of login sessions of the current user, execute the command who. This would list out the login sessions of the current user. And if you would like to view the login details or the past login history of the current user, execute the command the last. This would display the list of the login details and from which IP address that have been connected and the time at which the user have connected. Okay. And to view the current or the full path of the current directory, execute the command the pwd. This would return the full path of the current directory. And if you would like to view the list of files and folders of the current directory, execute the command the ls. So we would be covering the files and its file permission in detail in a subsequent separate video. So in this session, I would be covering some basics related to the files. Say just to list the files and view the details or the file size and all the other stuff. Okay, so the ls would list the list of files. I don't have any files and folders in this directory. Let me move to the root directory and execute the command ls. And if you execute the command ls-la, it would list the hidden files and the folders along with the regular files and folders. Say the hidden files and the folders start with the dot. Say I think I don't have any hidden file and folders in this location. Okay. So, but the command ls-la will list out all the hidden files and folders along with the regular files. Okay. Right. To view the detail about the terminal, execute the command echo $0. The shell is the user interface to connect to the Linux kernel. Say apart from the default shell, the popular alternatives are bash and zsh. Say the bash comes with the comes default with most of the operating system, and zsh has to be installed separately. So in my case here the bash is my the terminal, so that is what it is displaying as an bash. Okay, let's move on to the operating system info. To view the details about the operating system, execute the command cat etc os-release. This would display the details about the operating system. And let's move on to the hardware related information. To view the details about the CPU, execute the command ls cpu. This lists out the details about the CPU. ls-mem is the command to view the details about the RAM. So I have allocated 2 GB of RAM for this particular virtual machine. ls-usb is the command to view the USB devices that are attached to the server. LSPCI lists all the PCI devices are connected in this motherboard. To view the full details about the hardware, execute the command lshw. This command has to be executed with elevated privilege. To run a command with elevated privilege, include the word the sudo. Sudo ensures that the command is executed with the elevated privilege. It will ask for a password, and with that, it have displayed the whole bunch of information about the hardware. Okay, let's move on to the host name or the machine name part. Say the prompt displays the machine name, but just in case if you are in need of the machine name in the terminal, then you can execute the command the host name. The alternative command is hostname ctl. This provides some additional information along with the machine name. Okay. This command can also be used to make changes to the machine name. Right now, my machine name is lnx-vm1. Let me change it to lnx-vm. So the command is hostname ctl set-hostname and the new name. It is asking for the password. Now the host name is changed. Let me check it by executing the command hostname. The host name have changed, but it haven't changed in the prompt yet. To make the change reflected in prompt, you may have to log out and log in back. To log out, you can execute the command exit. I have disconnected and I'm connecting it back. Okay, so now the name have changed to lnx-vm in the prompt as well. Okay, let's move on to time zone related information. Okay, to view the current date and time, execute the command date, and the time is displayed based on the current UTC time, and to the change to your local time zone, you can change it through the command time date ctl. So time date ctl provides the information or the time details, say the UTC time and the local time of the server. So since I haven't made any changes to the time, it is still displaying as an UTC time. Both local time as well as the universal time are displayed in UTC. Let me change it to Indian time zone. So first, let's have a look into the list of available time zones. To view the list of available time zones, time date ctl list time zones. Say this would list all the time zones that are supported by this Linux environment. So, if you move on to the next page, press the key page down, it will list out all the time zones. To exit from the screen, press the command, press the key Q. Now you have exited from the time zone list, and let me filter out the Indian time zone. Say the Kolkata is the time zone for India. It's Asia slash Kolkata is the time zone for IST. Let me try to set the IST time zone. So set time zone, and I just typed in AS and the tab. It is trying to complete it, and let me press the key KO and the tab. It have completed it. Okay, let me press enter. It is asking for the password. Okay, so the time zone have changed. We now try the date command. Okay, now the IST time is displayed over here, and if you list the time, date CTL, so the local time is uh, displayed in IST and the universal time is displayed in UTC. Okay, right. So to view the list of the commands that we have executed so far, can execute the command the history. Okay, and to clear the history, execute the command history -c. Now if I am executing command history, okay, everything is gone and only the history is there. Okay, so let's move on to the network details. In the meantime, I'll also explain about the shutdown and the reboot commands. To shut down, I may not be executing it right now, but I will let you know the commands. The shutdown space now is the command to shut down the server immediately. If you provide just shutdown, it will ask for the confirmation in the sense it won't immediately shut down, but it will shut down in a minute. So in the meantime, if you wanted to cancel the shutdown operation, you can execute the command shutdown -c. That would stop the shutdown operation. Okay. To restart the machine, execute the command reboot. So this would restart the machine immediately. Okay, now let's move on to the network related the details. Let's start with the IP address. To find the IP address of the current the server, the command is IP space A. It would list all the IP addresses that are assigned to this particular the machine. I think too much of information is being displayed, I believe, to but filter out only the INET part. Then there are multiple options. One, hyphen O. So it tries to display everything in a single line. Still, if you find it complicated to grasp the information available over there, the other alternative is IP A, pipe it through the grep INET. So in front of all the IP address, there is an INET text is there. Let's try to filter it with that particular text. Okay, now it's somewhat clean. So this is what the IP address that is being assigned by our host. Say in my case, it is the router is assigning this IP address. Okay, and say the next one is to view the list of port. Say SS is the command that will show you the list of uh, the ports that are open in the server. It accepts multiple arguments or parameters. Say SS hyphen P along with the port, it will also show the process that are associated with that port, and P combined with U and T list out all the UDP and the TCP ports, U for UDP and T for the TCP ports, and these are all the two active ports, or let's say only one the active port is there, and if you combine it with the L means listen. So these are all the port that are the active and in the listening mode. And say if you look at the port, instead of the port number, the name is being displayed. But if you wanted to view the number, port number, then it is PUTLN. Now instead of the name, the port number is being displayed. Okay, right. Okay. Now let's move on to the all running process. PS is the command to view the list of the running process. Say PS stands for the process status. Okay, this lists out all the process that are started by the current user, and PS-AUX returns all the process started by all the users. Okay, right. Now let's move on to the disk usage. Okay, say to df if this is the command to view the free space. So it's disk free is the abbreviation for df. Say, it is listing all the partitions with the size, but if you would like to have an human readable size, or say to display it in MB or GB, then add the argument -h that will provide you with the say the size in MB or the GB. Okay. Now, if you would like to view the folder size, say now the current command, the df is showing the partition the size, and if you would like to view the folder size, the command is du, say du, and say maybe I will move to the root so that I'll have some more folders. Okay, du. Okay, it's trying to list out the size of all the subdirectories. Let me stop and let me move on to one directory called USR. What I would do is du dot, and let me try to combine all the subdirectories. Okay, so and let me add the argument h so that it will provide the details in an human readable form. So the size is 1.7 GB. Okay, and if you look at this contains multiple folders. If I wanted to view the size of bin and the games, then what I can do is instead of providing the dot, I can give bin space games. So I provided two folders. The size of the bin is 101 MB and the size of the games folder is 4 KB. Okay, right. So this way you can view the file sizes or file or the folder size, And just in case, if you are viewing the details for multiple folders, and if you wanted to view the total of the folders, sorry, total size of those folders, then you can combine this command with an additional flag called as CSH. That's an they combined the total, it will return. So it's still 101 MB, and since the file size is very less, the game size is very less, we don't see any difference in the size. Let's move on to the resource usage. Top is the command to view the memory usage as well as the CPU usage. Here it is showing the available memory and or the total memory and the memory free and how much it is been the used. Right now it is displaying in the MB. If you wanted to switch it to a different unit, press the key Shift and E. That would switch to the different unit. Now it is displaying in GB. Again press Shift E. It would switch to the other unit, say terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, and back to kilobyte. And megabyte is the default unit. And now back to gigabyte. Okay. Say if you want to exit from the screen, you may have to press Q. Okay. Back to the regular window. The next one is to view the content of an HTTP URL. Say the curl command can be used to view the content of an HTTP URL. Since the server OS doesn't have a GUI, we may not be able to use a browser to view the content from a web server. Curl will be helpful to view the raw HTML content right inside the terminal. Say that gives an indication whether the web server is working or working as expected or not. Say assume that you have installed the Nginx in this web server, Nginx in this server, and you just wanted to check whether the server is working as expected or not. So rather than going to a different machine and checking and validating it, you can just execute the curl command and see whether you are able to get the intended output or not. Say let me execute the command curl. Before that, let me move to the root. Curl https www.initpals.com. This will retrieve the HTML content and display it in the terminal, and this also gives an indication whether the server is working as expected or not. So the next command is the wget, that is used to download a web content. The command is similar to the curl. Now let's see what happened. Okay. Wget https www.initpals.com. Instead of displaying the content in the terminal, it will download the file, and it have downloaded the file and saved it as an index.html. So this is the file, and if you would like to view the content of the file, execute the command cat index.html, and this is the content of the file. Okay, so we have seen a whole bunch of commands in this session. To learn more about each and every command, you can check out the manuals of those commands. So it is also called as a man page or help page. To access the man page, start with the command man and then provide the command name. So man wget. Though this would lead to the help file of the particular command. You can navigate through, say, the down arrow, up arrow, and if you would like to search it through the help file, press slash, then search for that particular the command. Say, let me assume that I'm just searching for -o. Okay, so this is where it is. And to move on to the next, the occurrence of that particular the word, press the right arrow so that you will move on to the next available the page, or next occurrence of that particular the search keyword. Okay, to exit from this particular screen, press the command, not command, press the key Q. Okay, right. So with that, we have covered all the topics that are planned for this session. Say, in the next video, I'll explain about Linux user groups and user accounts. And thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to show your support and also to be notified on new content. See you in the next video. Thank you.